What does that industry perspective look like, and what are potential clients looking for? And that's why we have Waithera Kabiru. She's the head of media futures at East African Breweries Limited. Waithera, thanks for making the time. So we know that much of your advertising has been happening on traditional media, but how much of it has shifted to online content creators? How much of your ad spend is now directed towards influencers and content creators? Waithera.
Thanks, Yvonne, for having me. So in the last couple of years, not only have we shifted or enhanced our media mix to go online, and online, obviously, as you know, is very wide. We have YouTube video, we have, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google display and search. So we diversified about 2 years ago from just doing traditional media, which is your TV, radio, and out of home, to going into digital. And then this year, we've actually expanded our online connection with our consumers to include content creators. So what it looks like is a year ago, about 13% of our digital media, of our media investment was on digital. And this year, as of July, because our financial year starts in July, the percent of our digital media investment tripled. So it's almost at 40% now. And of that 40%, a huge percentage, almost 16%, goes into content creation or working with influencers. And there are many reasons why we did that. One, we believe that we need to have a media mix because consumers can be found everywhere. And then secondly, that we found that there are some things that influencers or content creators can do actually better than the brand. So we're really good as a business of creating advertising that sits on out-of-home TV, radio. That's advertising. And I think we've done a good job on that. What we did realize with social media, you cannot just be blasting advertising at consumers. Yeah. You will not connect with them. So for us, we said, why don't we work with content creators who actually can authentically do a better job than the brand, or just as good a job as a brand, and let's work with them and support them. And that's the reason why we've shifted our investment that way.
And how do you then decide which ones to work with? This is a pretty sort of nascent space. Do you have some sort of rule book, as to who you go to for what content?
Absolutely. I can't pretend that we didn't get it right the first time. But because of that, we took our lessons. So we actually have an EABL influencer playbook. In it, there are various sort of guidelines that all brand managers look at from when you're recruiting influencers. The main thing is, what is the brand fit? When you're selecting and engaging the influencers, how are you briefing them, ensuring they're fully immersed in the brands? We even do brand passion sessions with them. And then thirdly, in terms of monitoring and evaluating their work. So we do we're very hands-on in monitoring what they're doing. We give them complete creative license to create the content as they feel, as they wish, on the platforms they want. We do not, structure them or box them in that sense. But they do get our brand guidelines, so they know how the brand is positioned. In addition, we have an EABL marketing code that talks about, because it's alcohol, for us it's alcohol marketing, very sensitive sector. You cannot market alcohol to anyone under the age of 18. You cannot, for example, potentially associate alcohol with health benefits. So we take them through the EABL marketing code. It's a very strict code, but we're very proud that we have it. And we also have influencer guidelines. And part of those influencer guidelines talk about disclosure. So for EABL, we're very strict about influencers disclosing any material connection they have with a brand. So you will see with our influencers, they will disclose things like this is a hashtag ad or paid partnership. Yeah. Even for our employees and agencies, when I post anything that's related to EABL, I have to put hashtag I work for EABL. For our agencies, hashtag I work on task or whatever, what have you. That's disclosure, because we have to be very open and transparent.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that's getting an understanding of that. We want to take a break because there's much to discuss with my guest today, including whether this actually has a return on investment and what that looks like. I'm still here. We've got Aziad, we've got Dorothy Oko from Google, Desago is here, Abel Mutua, and Kate Actress, as well as Waithera still with me. We're talking about the business of content creation. Getting quite a bit of feedback on Twitter. Thank you. Aaron Wasira says, Abel Mutua has put it clear that the key to online content creation is either your content is inspiring, educating, or entertaining. You'll agree with me that consistency will keep your audience in touch with your channel. Brian Amwai says, how do influencers track whether the marketing was effective or not? Waidera has talked about that, but we can ask our influencers here. I've seen some rushing to just mention ads without trying to convince people, or is convincing not part of the package? All of those questions and much more we'll continue to discuss here. The hashtag is Business Now. We'll be right back with this great inspiring topic. Keep it here.